Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC 323. In this one, we have my sleeper of the card, or the one I think could possibly be the best fight on the card, and people might be overlooking it. We have Ziam taking on Nazim Sadykhov. For Ziam, you have a well-rounded striker with some good finishing ability and a really good run right now. Meanwhile, you have Nazim Sadykhov, who is a dangerous, aggressive opponent with a streak of knockouts and the potential to end fights early. This fight presents a pretty classic clash, a technical striking and more or less some more experience on his side versus pressure, power, and finishing instinct. Let me be clear on this. These two are going to be ranked contenders at lightweight in the future. Mark my words. I would be shocked if neither of them are ranked in the future. Absolutely shocked. And maybe this is reaching, but I also full-heartedly believe that these two are going to rematch one day down the line. I mean, look at their ages, right? 28, 31. They are in the prime of their careers, and they are some of the best prospects in the lightweight division. Well, I guess it's hard to call for Ziam a prospect because he's 17-4. I wouldn't call that a prospect record, but more than Sadykhov, who is 11-1-1. But you get my idea. I think these two are going to rematch down the lines as ranked contenders, whether that's for a belt, whether it's just a fight diamond event, whether that's a contender fight. I don't know, but I do think these two are going to rematch down the line. I mean, look at the streaks he's on, that they're both on. For Sadykhov, he's 5-0-1 in his last 5 fights. TKO of Evan Elder, submitted Terrence McKinney, fought Slava Klaus to a majority draw, majority draw, which is surprising, or technically majority decision. TKO of Ismail Bonfim, again, doctor stoppage, and most recently defeated Nicholas Mota in June in one of the best fights this year, period. Meanwhile, for Ziam, he's on a nice little win streak too. His 5-fight win streak. His last loss was February of 2022 when Terrence McKinney subbed him in the first round. But, that guy is feast or famine. Since then, decision over Michael Figlat, decision win over Jai Herbert, decision over Claudio Puelles. He kneed Matt Frivola's head off last September, and most recently in this February, beat arguably the best opponent of his career so far in Mike Davis, where he looked fucking phenomenal in that fight. This is a great fight, and I think I said it in my Turner Barbosa breakdown. There are 3 fights on this card that have made me struggle on who I think is going to win. And this fight's one of them. This is actually the hardest fight for me to predict, and no matter who I picked, I'm not 100% confident because both are very fucking skilled, both are really good, and both are a perfect counter to each other, in my opinion. But without further ado, let's break down their styles. So starting with Ziam. What stands out at first is his kickboxing base and his well-rounded skill set. For 6'1" in this division, he's pretty tall and lanky for the division, and carries a reach that most of his peers in the division don't have, and advantages in both range and leverage. And Ziam isn't just a one-dimensional striker. It's shown in his last few fights, he's really improved his takedown and submission game. I mean, he fought Claudio Puelles, who, say what you want about him, is a pretty good submission artist. And most recently, Mike Davis, who's a really good wrestler, and Ziam was able to handle him pretty well. I know Davis was acting very odd and pulling guard a lot in that fight, but the fact Ziam was able to avoid that knee bar for a long portion of this fight shows his toughness and his ability to survive in grappling. Excuse me. What defines Ziam is his composure under pressure. He doesn't panic if a fight gets messy or someone comes forward. He has shown an ability to pick his shots, maintain distance, and use kickboxing fundamentals. And when needed, mix it up. Even if things go to the distance, Ziam's balanced game, striking, takedowns, defense, give him a path to win. And for a fighter at lightweight with reach, versatility, and solid striking defense, he becomes a very tough matchup for someone looking to end the night early. Now looking at Nazim Sadykhov, He comes in as a dangerous competitor with aggression, finishing power, and a momentum backed up by and a momentum backed record. I mean, he is, like I said, 11-1-1. He's when was his last loss? Now that I think about it. I mean, if you look at Sadykhov's record, his last loss was many years ago. Oh, yeah. It was literally, he lost his debut, which was way back in 2018. He, against an 0-0 fighter, is what it is at the time. But, like I said, that's his only loss in many, many, many years. Hers. And I'll say this, even at 5'10", he's technically going to be shorter than Ziam, but Sadykhov's pretty big for the weight class, too. He fills out nicely at 155 pounds. Sadykhov's record, like I said, solid. He has many wins by TKO or knockout, 8 to be exact, and it's shown he has power and knows how to finish fights. And that finishing instinct suggests that he doesn't wait for perfect openings. He creates pressure, forces opponents to react, and tries to end the fight as soon as possible. That being said, even though I'm saying he creates his own openings, he has pretty good timing. Like you saw the question mark kick that landed perfectly on Ismail Bonfin's head that led to him not being able to see out of his eye. And I would say Sadykhov has decent finishing versatility too. He's not just stand-up shots, he's not just stand-up shots, but also submission in his background, which means he can shift gears if the stand-up striking doesn't land. Sadykhov thrives when the pace is high, when there's forward motion, and when he can push the fight into chaos. If he gets the fight going early with momentum and aggression, he becomes a dangerous threat at any moment. I will say, like I said, you look at submission ability, like I said, Terrence McKinney, for example, that was a great submission win where he was able to trap one of McKinney's arms behind his back as Sadykhov took the back. So McKinney had to try and defend a rear naked choke with basically one hand. It's good versatility. Now, looking at this matchup, you have a battle between Zaham's technical striking, composure, and well-rounded balance versus Sadykhov's pressure, power, and finish-oriented aggression. If Ziam uses his reach, stays disciplined, controls distance, and pick his moments, he can force Sadykhov to fight on unfavorable terms. Ziam's defense and composure might neutralize early aggression, making it hard for Sadykhov to land heavy strikes clean. And if the fight drags on, I think that Ziam's balanced skill set give him a path to win, either by accumulating strikes, defending takedowns, or aggressive advantage, or even catching Sadykhov in a moment of overcommitting. And while, as of late, Ziam has kind of been a decision machine. I mean, you look at the last 4 wins of his 5-fight win streak, only one had been a finish. He still has finishing instincts. It's just when you find the UFC in comparison to the regional scene, that's a different beast, and you're not going to be able to finish everybody. It's just facts. I mean, shoot, like a Shavkat, right? Everyone thought, he's the boogeyman. He was finishing everybody. He had a decision against Gary. Eventually, you are never going to win all fights by finish. I've learned that through just watching so many fighters who have, finished fights after fight after fight. It just happens. Now, if Ziam uses his reach, like I said, stays disciplined, controls the distance, and pick his moments, he can force Sadykhov. But if Sadykhov comes out sharp, applies pressure early, close distance, and forces loud exchanges, the fight becomes dangerous for Ziam. In that scenario, Ziam can't just rely on kicking from distance. He'll have to navigate heavy forward pressure and power. In fights where momentum swings quickly, one mistake from Ziam could lead to a finish given Sadykhov's knockout power. The question becomes of who can control the rhythm. Ziam wants pressure or precision and patience. Basically just control. While Sadykhov wants chaos, pace, and intensity. Whichever man gets the fight to his preferred tempo is going to have the advantage in this one. As I said, man, I've struggled this so much. I love both guys, and I think both are going to do great in this division. But thinking of right now, like their opposition, who they fought, the performances I've seen, I gotta go with Ziam in this one. I think Ziam's combination of size, technique, versatility, and composure give him the tools needed to neutralize Sadykhov's pressure and power. I believe Ziam can stay disciplined, use reach, avoid reckless exchanges, and pick his shots carefully. He can outstrike or outlast Sadykhov, even if the fight gets rough. His defense and well-rounded game offer a safer path to victory than Salikhov's high-risk, high-reward style. I mean, let's not forget, Nicholas Moda almost had him out of there many times in that first round. And while, you can use MMA math, it's like, oh, well, Sadykhov beat Terrence McKinney. Well, Terrence McKinney ran over Ziam. Then, oh, man, maybe Sadykhov can win. Well, technically, if we're going to use MMA math, that means Ziam would have to win in this rock, paper, scissors scenario. He would have to. MMA math is bullshit, man. It doesn't work. I think Salikhov's aggression gives him a chance. It really does. But I think the balance leans towards Ziam's favor, especially if he plays smart, which he has done every single time. He is a smart, intelligent fighter, and he knows what works for him. So my official prediction, I'm going to go with Ziam, and I think he's going to win a decision in this one. But with that being said, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below on who you think is going to win. But until then, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see you all next time.